Hello, Flosstube. Sorry about the wiggling. Sorry. Um, my name is Elizabeth Martinez, phantastitches, and this is my Flosstube update number 120. Today is June 6th, D-Day, the anniversary of D-Day. I think it's been, I don't know what, 75 years, something like that. That men stormed the beaches of Normandy. And I remember when the Steven Spielberg movie came out, Saving Private Ryan, that opening sequence on the of D-Day on the beach apparently was very real, according to many veterans that saw the movie. And I remember my little sister saying, you can't complain after that. What those guys did. Facing that withering gunfire, and still pressed onward, even though the odds were very much against them. Anyway, so I'm just extremely thankful for that sacrifice. It was incredible. Anyway, but this is a channel about cross stitch, and so we're gonna get right down to that. So Mania ended this past Sunday, and I had talked about before that I had finished the 4 ships that I was working on. I started on each Friday, May 1st, and the subsequent Fridays after that. So last Friday, I kind of had a few days to wind up the month of May, and I had talked about this Be Well freebie that from, I think, Lila Studio. Yeah, Lila Studio did as part of the Be Well and Stitch stitching during the pandemic quarantine. So anyway, and I wanted to do this for our neighbor who I was out, a couple of days ago on my bike and saw her out there, and asked her if she was the one that did the cookies, and it was actually her daughter that made the cookies, and then they, I guess distributed them in the neighborhood. Anyway, so like I said, I was out riding my bike and saw her, and so it made me even want to even more, finish this. So I finished it probably, I want to say Tuesday or thereabouts, because I had to, I looked and looked and looked, and there were 2 colors that, I guess when I was kitting this up, I had not found those 2 colors, and I thought they were just somewhere in my stash, because it was just, it was DMC, and I have like pretty much all of the DMC colors. And I thought, well, they're in some project, or I have a bunch of DMC skeins that, when there was one day when I was gonna kit up several projects. This was, I guess, sometime last year. I don't know, and rather than go through my stash, because my DMC was sort of scattered here and there in various projects, and I thought, well, I'm just going to go and buy all these skeins of thread. And so I did. I bought a whole bunch of thread, and then at the last minute I thought, I'm going to go through my boxes and see what I have. And I had basically almost all of it. So I didn't use this handful of skeins. So I thought, well, maybe among those are the 2 that I can't find for this project, but they weren't there. And I went through all of my kitted up projects that that I could think of, and I couldn't find them anywhere. So I don't know if they were just not in the store that day, or I overlooked them, or whatever. But anyway, I didn't have them. So I was all but done, but I didn't have those two colors. So finally, I did go and get them. Well, I think on Monday finally. So I think I finished this on Tuesday or late Monday night. But anyway, this is the Lila Studio Be Well stitch, and there's room up here and down here if you want to put, excuse me, put initials or whatever. But I chose not to do that. I just put the year 2020, and it was this pink and this darker blue. And if you notice, this fabric, I have a lot of it, and so I think I think I have it for one more piece or something. But so I had this little scrap and this little scrap. I'll show you in a minute. And I have some other small pieces left over from, you know. So yeah, so I'm making use of this even weave, this, because like I said, I had a lot of this fabric. So anyway, so I was doing this bunny, and last time I had done the words here be well, but I had not finished his basket or his eye or these other flowers or anything, or finished the border. So so I did this border, and I started it here, and I was going around, and I realized I'm off by, like, you know, this is even weave, so you skip over 2 threads. I just 2 over 2, and I had somehow, when I started over here 2 over 1, I was off by 1 stitch, 1, you know, thread or whatever, but you can't tell. So yeah, but there's little yellow flowers. And then this is the blue that I was missing, this blue and this pink. And I hadn't done, I don't think I had done the white yet, or I might have done this basket, but not the center of these flowers, because I was waiting to put the pink in first, so I can, you know. And then this is like you can't tell against this, but it's kind of a green fabric, a green color. And then this is this same dark brown. And, you know, and the bunny's eye was supposed to be this kind of grayish blue, but you really couldn't see it very well. So I did it in this darker blue here for this flower. I went ahead and plucked out his eye. I took out, because I had already done his eye in this color, and it just really, you could barely see it against this brown of the bunny's body. And I wanted it to stand out a little more, so I redid his eye in this color. And then there's the pink for his ear. That's this pink here. So it was this, like I said, this pink and this darker blue that I was missing. So I went out to Hobby Lobby, and I restrained myself, and that was all I bought for those 2 little skeins. But so this is done. So I have a finish. Yay! So like I said, I think, I don't know if I'm going to do, I think I had decided that I'm going to do like a little flat finish for the neighbor. But yeah, so that's done. And then that is the only other thing I worked on is something that is actually going to be, it was actually for the Etsy shop. Three Sisters Creative that I have with my sisters, and I started this back in February or April. This is an April design, April showers. This is like the little little pillow finishes that my sister and I were doing, the little patterns. You know, there's this one here is for Memorial Day, remember always. And it's good for now, for today, for D-Day, but so there's this one. Anyway, so this is along that same line. It says April showers, and there's a duck, and you can just, you could see the rain here and the little ducklings. Yeah, and actually this was charted in this lighter blue color, and and this this little wing, the wing is a darker blue, and I went ahead and used it here because on this blue fabric, the lighter blue didn't show up with the backside. You can see it up here, but down here it was really not showing up. So I did the darker blue, and you really can't tell you can see it a lot easier. But anyway, and I made a mistake on this little duckling too, because he's off by one thread. You can't tell, but just true confession time. Yeah. So, but yeah. So this is again probably gonna be another little pillow finish, just because they're fast and easy. Well, sort of easy. But anyway, so yeah, that's our April showers design. So anyway, that was what I did for the rest of this week through. I think I finished it late last night. So I have 2 finishes this week. This one, April showers, and the freebie, the Lila Studio freebie, Be Well. So on the same fabric. I've been working on this fabric all month long because the 4 ships that I did were on it, and these 2 designs were on it. So, the other thing for the Etsy shop is I did finish the magnet, buying the magnets. I bought the magnets for. This is getting heavy. For these, so all of these have full sets of magnets. So and they're all available in the Etsy shop as well. So you can buy, if your initial is on here, unfortunately I don't know that I have the whole alphabet. I don't know. And what's here is all there are. They were just a bag of letter tiles that I came across there at Hobby Lobby. And, like I said, that was all there were. They were on sale or something, so I don't think there's any more of them. And then there's these little paintings that my sister did. There's Calvin and Hobbes, the 2 things. There's my little sister's cats. And there's a little forest glade there, and a duck, and some flowers. Oops, I think that's upside down. Flowers. Yeah. And then the penguins and the little. So anyway, I just thought I would show those again. But and then the other thing, the new thing we have in the Etsy shop are some scissor fobs, and so these are on lobster claws, so you can stick them on. You can use them as scissor fobs or zipper pulls or whatever. But there's how have I got them over here? So they're beads, and they're kind of like antique-y kind of beads. And then on the end, let's see if I've got the back of it. There's an owl. So there's a white owl. It's kind of hard because the lighting in here is not great for these. But there's this one with a white owl. And there is, and I think they're already in the Etsy shop. And there's another one with a green owl. And again with the sort of antique looking beads. And then this one with a sort of a orangey browny colored owl. There he is. And then this one is sort of greenish, I guess. A darker green. Greenish bluish. Yeah. So like I said, these are in the Etsy shop. And they all have these lobster claw attachment. And So I think that's it. I just wanted to talk briefly about, I got back on the bike on Monday, and went around, the neighborhood. And, our neighborhood is gated, like I have mentioned before. So and I had a fob for the gate, so I went out, but I had not ventured out because I've been sort of, trying to just, build up my stamina a little bit, and I was a little bit afraid to go out the gate because, like I said, I'm sort of, I used to go be fearless and, ride miles and miles on my bike years ago, but since I had the brain surgery and everything else, I haven't ridden in years. So, and then now with with my disability and things like that, it's, I'm starting over really, basically. And, but anyway, I sort of ventured out the gate, this past week, and, and, went to just the neighborhood, next to ours. And I've, been going pretty early in the morning trying to beat the heat. And so on Wednesday, I went like at 6:30, and I guess that's the good time for the bunnies, because speaking of bunnies, I saw like 3 of them, 2 on one of the other neighborhood streets, and then one when I got back. There was another one in our neighborhood, and they're not like jackrabbits with the big long ears and the skinny legs. Jackrabbits are generally bigger, and these are more like just little, I don't know, cottontail kind of, regular brown bunnies. But I knew, that we've seen them occasionally in this neighborhood, but I saw, like I said, 2 over there, and then 1 in our street, and then I think it was Thursday I saw 3 over there. I didn't see 1 in our neighborhood, but we also have a little quail family on our street somewhere. So they were out, I don't know, Wednesday, or I think Wednesday also. I saw just like the wildlife everywhere. I think because I went like at 6:30 in the morning on Wednesday. So there was a little quail family with a little, thingy on their head, and there's like 5 little babies. I saw Wednesday. And so today I went comparatively late. I went like at 8, because it actually rained a little bit last night, and so it was only 75 degrees, which is, pretty good, because it's been like, if I go at 7:30, it was 89 degrees already or something. Some days. So anyway, it was only like 75 degrees today. But I went a little bit later, and there was a tree trimmer guy out next door trimming, and and everything. It was very noisy, so I didn't see anybody. It was about, it was closer to 8:15 or so when I was out riding. So I think it was, all the animals were hidden by then. But also that day that I saw the bunnies and the quail, when I came home, there was a grackle. I had left the garage door up, and there was a grackle in the garage. It got in the garage. So as I was going in, he flew out and startled me. It was very, very bizarre, but kind of fun, Anyway, so I'm hoping that, I hope to get up earlier and go, and maybe I'll see more of the neighborhood wildlife. But anyway, so yeah, that's just a free report on my bicycling effort. So I think that's it. I haven't quite decided on my next projects, but I have 2 or 3 in mind that I think I'll be starting, because my sisters and my mother all have birthdays coming up. In July and in August, and So I have a couple of ideas. I don't know if I'll be able to crank them all out in the space of a few months, but we'll see. I'm it seems like I'm a relatively slow stitcher, or I'm just, there were days this week when it was hard for me to concentrate on getting much done. Part of it is, I think that, with the bicycle riding, I'm sleeping a little bit heavier and a little bit more, and that's good. It's good for me because I've been sort of like, over the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years, it seems like I'll sleep for like a couple of hours and I'll wake up and I'll stitch for a while and I'll sleep for a couple of hours and I'll stitch for a while, and so I never really get a good solid 6 to 8 hours, because I'm just goofing around too much. But so I think with the bicycle riding every day, I'm getting a little bit more longer, deeper sleep, which is good. Anyway, I don't know why I'm talking about a lot. Because this is the channel about cross stitch. So I think I mentioned this is my update number 120, which is good. I'm coming along there. But so, like I said, I think that I have 2 or 3 projects in mind for now, and then I have a whole bunch of, as usual, a whole bunch of Christmas projects that I'm thinking about doing. And I had seen somebody had shown the Prairie Schooler, the 2020 Prairie Schooler Santa, which I really like, and I don't have it yet. I'm hoping to order that as well. But it's somebody, I think it was Pam and Steph, showed it on their I don't know if it was this past update or the one before that, but it's Santa, and he's like, the north wind is blowing, and there's these 2 little bunnies. There's one holding on to Santa's little staff thing or whatever, holding on, and his ears are blowing back, and the other one is, I think, behind Santa. His ears are also blowing back in the wind. But anyway, I want to get that very badly. So anyway, that's my sort of upcoming plans. The 2 or 3 things that I'm thinking about for this summer, and I don't have them to show you because I haven't decided quite yet. But hopefully by next week I will have some stuff done on them, and I probably am gonna do a little fabric dyeing in the next couple of days for those as well. So we'll see. Anyway, I think that's about it. Don't forget to go to the Etsy shop and take a look at that and see if there's anything there you like. There's project bags, there's a few needle minders that I showed you, and there's those new little scissor fobs are in there. And the project bags, are good size too. You can, like I had the one I had out here that had last week that had the 4. I was able to stick a whole bunch of projects in that bag. I put all 4 of those ship projects with their charts and everything. I had plastic bags that I had the charts in, and I had like working copies and enlargements of the charts because they're like hand drawn, whatever. So I had enlargements. My sister and I made enlargements of those, and as well as the original chart, and like some notions pouches for each one because I had them separately, and then I had the fabric in there. So I had all 4 of them in that one project bag, and they fit in there very nicely. So they're good sized project bags. If you have like an 11 by 11 Q-snap or whatever, excess fabric, a big project like that, they'll fit in there very nicely. And then they all, you can purchase, matching notions pouches for each one and all that. So So be sure and check that out and see if there's something that you like there. And we're going to be adding some more. We have some patriotic designs that will be coming up and like that. So I have my sister Eve slaving away, cutting fabric and making making project bags, sewing like a crazy person. Not me, of course, because I don't really do that. But anyway, she's making project bags all the time. Anyway, like I said, I think I'm just talking just to talk now. So my name is Elizabeth Martinez at phantastitches, and I will see you next week. Bye.